Have you ever had a situation where you're in the middle of a discussion and you just say the wrong thing? The wrong words, the wrong feelings, the wrong sentiments come out. This is not unusual. You wish you could take it back, but it did come out. You can apologize and think about it and see, how could I answer better the next time? This is especially the situation in patients and individuals who've suffered a traumatic brain injury, but they may not recognize that they've said the wrong thing. If somebody has damage to the frontal lobes, they may lose the perception of appropriate behavior versus inappropriate. They may lose impulse control. They may have personality changes, not able to control their moods, their affect. This is quite common in somebody who's experienced a traumatic brain injury. And what we're going to go into today is to go through two individuals, Mark and Alex. And we're going to analyze the discussions that the both of them are having and see how can we apply mindfulness, thoughtfulness, empathy, caring, understanding, respect into better communicating with those around us. This can help each of us, and especially if someone has suffered a traumatic brain injury. So let's begin.
We are going to go through 10 discussions and analyze them to see whether the responses which Alex gives to Mark's statement could be improved. In each scene, Mark, seen on the left, will make a statement, and Alex, on the right, will respond with what is a quick and somewhat impolite or rude response. A second improved response option by Alex will then be presented. After each discussion, Dr. Kraus will share his thoughts and analysis as to how and why the original response of Alex could be improved upon. This is done with the goal of setting up a framework we can implement to help in the future with skills needed for respectful and effective communication with others. Discussion 1. Mark and Alex are having a discussion. Mark is seen on the left and Alex is on the right.
Mark to Alex. I've been trying to get into meditation lately. It's really helped me calm down.
Alex replying to Mark, providing a somewhat rude response. Meditation. That sounds like a waste of time. Now let's think about this and see whether the following response by Alex would have been better. That's interesting, Mark. How has it benefited you so far? Doesn't this sound better? Let's see what Dr. Kraus has to say.
Now, what we're going to do is, after each dialogue, discuss and analyze how it could have been handled differently, and discuss techniques and approaches that we can use to help us in the future. Analysis of Dialogue 1. Instead of dismissing Mark's interests, Alex could have been more receptive. By asking about the benefits, he would show genuine curiosity and respect. Now, techniques for the future that we can use. Before responding, one can pause. Take a moment to process what was said. That's first. Number 2, open-ended questions. Ask questions that allow for elaboration, creating deeper engagement. Welcome to today's video. Dear viewers, I'm Dr. Gary Kraus, neurosurgeon, founder of the Kraus TBI Institute in Houston, Texas. We often find ourselves in conversations where words can either build bridges or create barriers for us. Have you ever caught yourself wondering, could I have said that better? Well, you're in the right place. Today, we dive deep into the art of conversation, examining how two individuals, Mark and Alex, interact with each other. While conversations flow naturally, sometimes our immediate reactions might not be the most supportive or empathetic. We'll analyze the dynamics between these two and explore ways to transform a potentially negative interaction into a positive one. Mark will make a statement to Alex, and Alex will respond first with the response which is seemingly rude, and next with a better response which is more thoughtful and considerate of Mark. The essence of this exercise is to underscore the profound impact that thoughtful responses can have. Communication is not just about conveying information. It's about understanding, respect, and connection. By being more mindful, empathetic, and by putting a touch more thought into our words, we can change the entire tone and trajectory of a conversation. Throughout this video, we'll not only break down the dialogues, but also introduce techniques to help us communicate better. These methods provide a roadmap guiding us toward creating responses that are considerate and constructive. Responding appropriately in a situation at times may be difficult for any of us. Let's remember and be aware that providing a well-considered response can be especially challenging for those who've suffered a traumatic brain injury, a TBI. Traumatic brain injuries can significantly impact various aspects of cognitive function. One key area often affected is the frontal lobes, which play a pivotal role in decision-making, impulse control, and social interactions. Damage to this area can make it difficult for individuals to gauge appropriateness in social situations, sometimes leading to responses that may seem abrupt or out of place. This is where the power of mindfulness and focus techniques come into play. Mindfulness encourages being present in the moment, helping individuals, especially TBI survivors, to consider their words and the implications of their responses. Implementing these techniques offers an opportunity to navigate conversations with greater awareness and intention, fostering positive and understanding interactions. I'd like to emphasize the importance of mindfulness and other techniques, especially for those facing unique challenges due to traumatic brain injury. So sit back and let's embark on this journey of refining our conversation skills together.
Now, let's go into dialogue 2.
Mark to Alex. I think I want to go back to school and get another degree.
Alex to Mark, with an initial rude response. Why bother? It's not like it's going to change anything at your age. Alex to Mark, with a better response. That's a big decision. What's motivating you to pursue further education? Doesn't this sound better? Let's see what Dr. Kraus has to say.
Rather than belittling Mark's aspirations, Alex could display understanding and interest. Encouraging someone's goals can foster a supportive environment. What techniques can we use for the future? Number 1, empathy. Try to place yourself in the other person's shoes. Number 2, avoid assumptions. Ask questions instead of making judgments.
Dialogue 3 between Mark and Alex.
Mark to Alex. I've been thinking of adopting a pet. I felt so lonely lately.
Alex to Mark, with an initial rude response. A pet? Are you sure you're responsible enough for that? Alex to Mark, with a more appropriate response. That sounds like a meaningful decision. What kind of pet are you considering? Let's get the thoughts of Dr. Kraus.
Let's discuss and analyze dialogue number 3. Recognizing the underlying emotion, loneliness, is crucial. Instead of doubting Mark's capabilities, Alex should focus on supporting his desire to combat loneliness. Techniques we can use in the future? Now, first, active listening. Understand the core message or emotion behind the words. Number 2, affirmation. Reinforce positive actions or decisions.
Dialogue 4.
Mark to Alex. I really admire how my brother has handled the challenges in his life.
Alex to Mark, with an initial rude response. Your brother. He doesn't seem that special to me. Alex to Mark, with what would have been a better response. It's great that you have such admiration for your brother. What particular qualities do you appreciate in him? Dr. Kraus, can you give us your analysis?
Let's discuss and analyze dialogue number 4. Everyone has a unique journey. Instead of diminishing the significance of Mark's brother, Alex could have encouraged him to share more, enriching the conversation. What techniques can we use for the future? Number 1, respect. Value others' perspectives and feelings. Number 2, curiosity. Dive deeper into subjects by inquiring more.
Dialogue 5.
Mark to Alex. I've been having some trouble sleeping lately. It's been stressing me out.
Alex to Mark, with an initial rude response. Maybe if you weren't on your phone all the time, you'd sleep better. Let's try a better response, which Alex could have given Mark. I'm sorry to hear that. Is there something specific on your mind that's keeping you up? Dr. Kraus, please provide your analysis.
Instead of blaming Mark, Alex could have been more compassionate. A little kindness can go a long way, especially when someone is vulnerable. Techniques we can use in the future? Number 1, compassion. Approach situations with a caring demeanor. Number 2, avoid blame. Opt for understanding instead of pinpointing faults.
Dialogue 6.
Mark to Alex. I've decided to cut down on sugar in my diet. I've read it can be really unhealthy.
Alex to Mark, with an anticipated rude response. With the amount of sweets you eat, it's about time. Alex to Mark, with an improved response. That sounds like a positive change. Have you noticed any differences since you started? Now, let's ask Dr. Kraus.
Criticizing someone's past habits isn't productive. Instead, Alex should acknowledge Mark's effort to make healthier choices. Techniques we can use in the future? Number 1, positive reinforcement. Applaud good decisions instead of highlighting past mistakes. Number 2, focus on the present. Address the current situation or decision rather than past behaviors.
Dialogue 7.
Mark to Alex. I've been trying to learn to play the guitar. It's harder than I thought.
Alex responding in a rude manner to Mark. Maybe it's just not for you. Some people just don't have the talent. Alex would have done better with the following response. It's admirable that you're trying something new. Keep at it, and it'll likely get easier with practice. Dr. Kraus will provide his commentary.
Discouragement can hinder progress. Alex should uplift Mark's spirits, motivating him to persevere. Techniques we can incorporate in the future? Number 1, encouragement. Foster a growth mindset by encouraging effort over innate talent. Number 2, affirmative language. Use words that validate and promote continuation of a pursuit.
Dialogue 8.
Mark to Alex. I took a day off from work yesterday to just focus on my mental health.
Alex to Mark, replying with a rude statement. Must be nice to take random days off whenever you feel like it. Alex to Mark, with a better response. It's important to prioritize mental well-being. I hope the day off was helpful for you. Let's have Dr. Kraus give his thoughts.
Mental health is vital. Alex's dismissive attitude could make Mark reluctant to share personal matters in the future. Techniques we can incorporate in the future. Number 1, empathetic listening. Recognize and respect the emotions behind someone's actions or words. Number 2, normalize self-care. Reinforce the importance of personal well-being.
Dialogue 9.
Mark to Alex. I've always wanted to travel to New York. The city fascinates me.
Alex responding rudely to Mark. Why go there? It's just a bunch of big buildings and people. Alex to Mark, with a more thoughtful response. New York sounds amazing. What aspects of the culture are you most interested in? Dr. Kraus, please give your thoughts.
Personal interests vary. Instead of belittling Mark's aspirations, Alex should showcase curiosity about them. Techniques we can incorporate in the future? Number 1, open-mindedness. Embrace and show interest in diverse perspectives and passions. Number 2, inquisitiveness. Ask questions that encourage elaboration and sharing.
Dialogue 10.
Mark to Alex. I've been considering joining a local theater group. I used to act in school.
Alex to Mark, with an initial rude reply. You? An actor? That's hard to imagine. Alex to Mark, with a better response. That's cool. It's great that you want to revisit a past passion. What kind of plays are you interested in? Once again, let's ask Dr. Kraus to provide his thoughts.
Mocking someone's passions can be demotivating. Alex should encourage Mark to pursue what makes him happy. Techniques we can incorporate in the future? Number 1, avoid stereotyping. Refrain from boxing someone into your perception of them. Number 2, show enthusiasm. Genuinely express interest in others' endeavors, making them more comfortable in sharing their experiences. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to this channel and also leave your comments and feedback below and include any topics which you'd like me to discuss in the future. Thank you for watching and for being a part of our community.